So we're out here in San Francisco. I'm speaking at an iconic .22 event for a company called Vigaro. But the thing that I wanted to touch on is keep this a little bit more, how do you stick to your commitments when it comes to, especially when it comes to training. As you guys know, like I'm, wherever I go, this might be a little bit on the extreme side because you look at the hotel gym, you look at the gyms that are close by and nearby. And I think it's very important that you have these non-negotiables in your life. Now, training for me isn't just, keeping my body in check and working towards the goal of performance and, the way that I look and feel and everything else. It's an anchor, right? And what I mean by an anchor is it anchors me in the day. Like it's mental health for me, right? It's basically taking control of, even when I'm feeling like crap and don't feel like doing it. To me, it's an overcoming of that, like the little editor inside of your head that goes like, don't do it, you don't need to do it, and still doing it. And I mean, sometimes it doesn't mean it's gonna be the hardest session in the world. It may just mean going and moving around, doing a recovery rebound session, right? But it is practicing this skill of doing something that's extremely important, aka non-negotiable for you, regardless of how you feel, right? And in life, if you were controlled by your emotions, you'd be all over the place, and meaning like you don't feel like doing the work, you don't do it. You're stressed out and sad. And so because of that, you don't care for people and you're not nice to people, or you don't do the work that's needed. You don't take care of the responsibilities that you have, right? If you go around life like that, first of all, you're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be not going to succeed, and it's just going to make it even more of a, I would say, swirl into victimhood, right? So when I go again, and now like I have like for instance, a 4-week stint of speaking around the country from San Francisco to New York next week, to Portland next week, to then Vegas, I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. And that's, as much as sometimes people are like, hey, that's cool, which it is, I'm very, very grateful and humble for that. You have to make sure it's a little bit harder to fit things in, right? So again, you have to understand every single day the things that are non-negotiable for you are the things that, like, when you ask yourself the question, like, who do I want to become, right? The person that I want to become is doing those non-negotiable behaviors today, no matter how you feel. And so, we're out here, Tyler came out, got a cool hotel gym, but I got in I call them weak link training, and I'll talk about that in part 2. And just, first of all, I feel better. My mind's sharper right now because I did that. My body feels better because sometimes, with travel, my back feels a little icky because I had a lot of back issues back in the day. And so, again, I'm just in a better mental state. But also, it's like I can check the box of my non-negotiables. Now, the other part is this, and this is what I wanted to talk about. Like sometimes people choosing, I would say, programs and training that's not fitting their lifestyle. So even for me, I had to switch things up where, I was doing 4 strength sessions a week, lower, upper, doing sprints on the track. I'm very active because I coach teams and people and pros, and I got three different businesses that I'm always doing things for. And on top of that, I was doing boxing, still doing boxing. And it was difficult for me to recover from. So, I had to go like, all right, listen, I'm traveling a lot on the weekends. These are the results I want. What am I gonna do? So I sat down and said, okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday strength session. And then the weekends are gonna be for weak link training, because when I'm on the road, it doesn't matter if it's a hotel gym, if I can't find a great gym, I can do that type of training with very little equipment. Whereas like my main days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or even a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I can do it at Vigor Ground and have all the equipment that's in my program. And so again, right, like moving those things around and going like, hey, I recognize that I'm not recovering well from the amount of stuff that I was doing. How can I adjust my program to get the best results, still feel great? Certain days that were harder days and now are gonna be lighter days, but I'll still be doing stuff. And with that, achieving the results that I want. Because again, there's nothing worse than, like, if you put in a lot of effort and don't get that back out, it's frustrating, right? And an example of that would be too, in your life, if you're putting in the work in the gym, for example, since we're on the gym subject, but you're not getting the results that you want, are you putting the effort into your nutrition, your sleep, your stress management, these other factors that are massive factors when it comes to changing your body. And so you have to assess it, because for me, it was frustrating going like, hey, I'm doing work and I'm not moving the needle as much as I'd like to move the needle. I had to zoom back out and assess the situation and say, hey, what's going to be better for me, that, considering my goals, my GPS. I always talk about the GPS, right? You are here, point A, you want to get here, point B. And my point B, I was taking, when the GPS, when you have the different routes, and one says 47 minutes and then the other one's like 27 minutes, fastest route. I was taking a long route to get to, with the amount of work I was putting in. It was like, I'm putting in a lot of work and it's taking me longer to get there, right? I want to take the fastest route. Okay, cool, fastest route, Luca, is gonna mean that you have to do less intense training sessions, organize your week differently, get your sleep right, so on and so forth. What is that for you, right? Where are you putting a lot of work and it's not paying off because you got the emergency brake on in something, okay? So those are the two things that I wanted to share as I was thinking about this, coming on the flight here. And like I said, I just started a new program that I built for myself because I was like, man, this is not working in that way that I wanted to. Let's make changes. And even just 2 weeks of training like this, and again, last week had a 2-day seminar at Vigor. This week in San Francisco for 3+ days. Next week in New York for 3-4 days, right? And I'm already feeling better and the numbers are going up. I know it's short term, but the point is because I'm more rested, right? I'm feeling better about my program, and things are moving forward. I'm picking that fastest route rather than the longest route with more effort. So think about that. What is it for you? Number one, let's summarize. What are your non-negotiables? Your non-negotiables have to happen regardless of what's going on around you. Are you traveling? You tired? Has stuff happen in your life? All these different things. And number two, are you making things harder for you, right? Make things not necessarily easy, but simple in a way that you want to get for what you're putting in, you want to get the most out of it, right? Make sure you're not making things harder for yourself than you need to be. And a lot of times that means addressing things like nutrition, stress management, recovery, sleep, okay? Because you're gonna get way more out of it. That's it. We'll be back with another vlog. Coach Luca out, and peace.